Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IAM Love Builder Show. We are your hosts, Casper and Cheryl Stockham, and we are so glad that you tuned in with us today. We want to give a great big shout out to our broadcast partners. Thank you for being with us today. IAM Love Builders is a show that's dedicated to all things to dealing with relationships, marriage, and communication. We want your marriage and your relationship to be thriving and prospering and blossoming. We want you to be MVPs.
Yes.
That's the most valuable partner in your marriage or relationship. Because we firmly believe here at I Am Love Builders, if you are not having fun, you are not doing it right.
No doubt about that. So we have some sponsors to the show. So we have uh, Winning with Love, Season 1 is live on Zandra TV Network, and we just filmed Season 2, and it'll be live toward the end of this year. And one of our guests for Season 2 is actually our guest on the show today.
Yay!
Yeah. So we're going to be introducing her. Her name is Dahlia Cummings. She has some really awesome coaching that she does for businesses. So we're going to get her a take on a lot of things, including being single in the Christian space. So that's going to be awesome. So we have a lot of media services that we have available through Zandra TV Network. We can do TV advertising, TV movie production, promotions, micro networks, you name it, podcast promotions. So a lot of services we can provide through the Zandra TV Network, including a micro network that we have, so we can help people put their content on TV. And they're going to get access to over 850 million homes via the Zandra TV Network. So if they have a current podcast, for example, that maybe it's sitting on YouTube and not getting many views or whatever, we can take that current content, put it on the micro network, and then we can help them promote it out to different areas and get more exposure.
Yeah, it will just help you to expand your audience. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. And we have Go Shop America, which is going to be coming online here, I think the 1st of December. This is exciting because if you are a small and medium-sized business, and maybe you don't have a warehouse full of product or maybe the services that you provide, and you want to get the exposure for that product or service, you can put that book, that course, or whatever on the Go Shop America.
It's kind of like a mini version of QVC or HSN, but it's more for the smaller entrepreneurs. So it's not a situation where you have to have 10,000 of a product or 1 million of a product.
Maybe you just had 10 or 100.
Maybe you just, maybe you got 50 copies of your book that you just published. And so you put that on Go Shop America and get some orders for your book.
Yeah, so we're going to put our books on the network as a bundle. So it's going to be kind of neat to do that. In fact, I think I may have a copy up there. It is. So we're going to have our books, Mastering Adam, Mastering Eve, and Mastering Adam and Eve as a series that we're going to put on Go Shop America.
Yep, that's going to be good.
Going to be pretty cool.
So contact us if you're interested.
Yep. And we also have a free Facebook group called Most Valuable Partner Network. It is on Facebook, and we have over 300 now people in that network, both single and married. And we share tips and strategies on relationships. We put a lot of our videos up there as well, or access to them. And they're going to be access to more things here in the coming months as we tool up for 2026. Speaking of which, the Love Hub is coming online here in about 30 days. Super excited about this. So this is a God-centered place for couples and singles to go to just get a lot of great information from divorce-proofing their marriage and reigniting the playful spirit, and just all kinds of great things they can get from the hub. So it's going to be really exciting as we build that out. And then our sponsors to the episode are Texas All-Stars. They deal with crypto mining. Now, when I first heard, so I heard of crypto, like Bitcoin or whatever, but I didn't know anything about crypto mining. And I was pretty excited about it after they started explaining it to me. Initially, though, I wasn't, because I had lost money in crypto, and I'm like, no, I'll pass. But they said, no, it's crypto mining. It's a little bit different, a little bit safer, and so forth. I said, okay. So that was about 7 months ago. I got a miner, and then it started producing crypto, and I started to sell crypto. I was like, this is kind of cool. And then you turned to me one day and said, I need a miner.
Yes.
So you got a miner, and then my sister's got a miner, and my daughter got a miner. So we all have miners. It's pretty cool. So if you want to get more information if you want to get into the crypto kind of space, but you want to do it safely, this is the best way to do it. It's really cool, and it's a legacy kind of thing. All right, so a lot of stuff going on. I'm super excited about the Love Hub that we're putting together over the next, basically during the holidays, we'll be building all this out so we can have a really substantial launch going into 2026.
That's right. So, what have you been doing these days?
What do you mean what I've been doing?
Yeah, what have you been doing?
I've been working.
Working.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you always tell me.
Every time you see me, what am I doing? I'm working.
Watching TV.
Girl. So, anyway.
I'm excited about our guests.
Okay. We're going to bring her on after this episode. We still got another minute.
Okay, so here's one of the things I did want to share. For those of you, as Casper already mentioned, if you have, if you're doing live podcasts, but you don't have the thing about putting your live podcast on Facebook, they don't necessarily belong to you.
Right.
And so you need to have your live podcast in a space where it's yours and you can drive people to that space so that they can hear the type of content that you're bringing on.
Exactly.
So that's what having a micro network is all about. It's a space for you to go and keep record of all of your content, and then it could be blasted out to many different areas.
Yeah, you get to control your content a lot better. With Facebook, a lot of live posts, actually, they start deleting them after 30 days now. So you really don't have much control over your content if you're on Facebook. And that's why we're doing the Love Hub, because we want to control a lot of the community.
Right.
And we really can't do that with Facebook, or you can do it, but there's too many restrictions, and it's not really as fluid as it needs to be.
Yeah, you want it to be in a situation where somebody a year from now might pop up and hear your content and still be moved by it.
Right.
So that's why we're having a micro network. And so reach out to us. We would love to have you on our micro network and talk more about it. So just reach out and so we can share some more information with you.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have our special MVP guest and TV star extraordinaire. We're going to have her with us here after we take this quick break. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Well, which is my camera?
Right there, all the way down.
Oh, okay, I can talk to him. After all, he's my camera. I can talk to him. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Winning with Love with Casper and Cheryl Stockham. We are here with our wonderful guests.
God has been very graceful. Going back to what you stated, it's that work back.
Yeah.
So we weren't arguing with one another, but maybe we needed to be. Right. Maybe we needed to be getting uncomfortable.
I'd only been saved 11 months. He's been saved since he was 19. But at the end of the day, I believe in marriage, and I think that it's really important.
You have been watching Winning with Love with Casper and Cheryl Stockham. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are back with the I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl, and we have our special MVP guest and famous now TV
TV
star. Dahlia comes in. Hold on, I got something for you. Hold on one second.
I see it.
Hi, Dahlia.
Hello, hello. I'm so happy to be here today.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes.
We're glad that you joined us. We had a lot of fun in Texas. It's been like 2 months ago now. It's been, when was that?
About a month, maybe
About a month ago.
It was about a month ago. It's about time flies, but yes, it's been about a month, I think.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow. So share with us, what has Dahlia been doing? Tell us first about what was your experience on the TV show? What was that like for you?
So one, it was definitely unexpected. A lot of times people say that they want to hear a perspective, especially when it comes to being single and being Christian, but they want to guide the conversation a particular way for a certain narrative. And so I was so appreciative that the conversation that occurred was just an open, real conversation. Like I chuckle when I think back because I was like, there was moments, I'm sure y'all were like, "Ooh, they are frustrated." Like, but it was wonderful. Again, just very hospitable. Zandra, of course, is wonderful. You guys are wonderful. It was just a very comfortable place to be, and to allow us to be open, I think, is just really speaks volumes for who you guys are. And so I was just really grateful to be able to be a part of that space and be able to lend my voice.
Well, we were excited to have you on the show. We love the content that you shared, the energy that you brought to the show.
Yeah.
It just made it all come together so cohesively and wonderfully. And it was pretty much all organic. So we didn't really have any guidelines or rules. We just really wanted people to come and speak genuinely from their hearts.
Yeah.
And so we were glad that you were willing and felt free enough to do that.
Absolutely.
Yes, again, thank you so much for that platform.
Oh, no, you're welcome. So before we get too carried away, please kind of introduce yourself to our audience and let them know who you are. And
who is Dahlia Cummings?
Absolutely. So hello, everyone. My name is Dahlia Cummings. I am the owner of DNX Enterprises, and I operate 3 different companies under that. But essentially, I'm a woman that operates up under the umbrella of wholeness. Whether that is, you being whole as far as a business owner, because I do operate with human resources, or whether that's you being whole in your entrepreneurship journey, or whether just being whole as a woman. What I've learned through my journey is that nothing comes from brokenness that's going to survive. Everything that grows has roots, and the stronger your roots, the more you will flourish. And so I have a deep passion for really helping people glue themselves back together, helping businesses figure things out to where we're whole and we're moving forward and we're able to flourish. So that's the world that I pretty much live in, and I would say was probably really born to be in.
So what gave you the background to be in that space now? Because we know a little bit of your story, so please kind of unpack that a little bit for us.
Absolutely. Well, I would say as a child, I was someone that loved puzzles. So I'll start there. Okay. And I'm talking about like the 3,000 piece double-sided.
Wow.
Puzzles.
Okay.
Right. So it was always in me, that drive to figure things out just naturally, and for things to be a complete picture. And in addition to that, my upbringing or that journey of not really being allowed to embrace who I was, as something that I believe I said when I was there, kind of being taught that I was the dirt and not the Dahlia, and then allowing God to show me that I was my own puzzle. I was my own double-sided 3,000 piece puzzle, and putting all of that together. I think who I naturally am and who I was kind of curated to be, and that journey coming together is what brought me into this place of loving to figure out puzzles and helping people just figure things out. And that kind of manifested into the human resource piece. But as I began to grow and really put my pieces together and really started meeting other women that had broken pieces like me, but kind of didn't have anyone that they felt was a safe space for them to lean into, or was someone that was even willing to get that vulnerable with them. A lot of times we don't like to attach ourselves to other people's pain in order to help them heal. Well, I was never afraid to go down up under.
Mhm.
Never been afraid to snatch the rug back and sweep out what is up under. And so I think all of that together is what kind of created me to be this person that I am today.
Oh, that's awesome. I like what you said about being whole. I don't care what you're going to do. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to be a business owner, if you're going to be CEO of a company, you need to be whole.
Right.
And I look back on my entrepreneurial journey. I was like, gee, I could have used a Dahlia way back then. But because there were so many pieces that we didn't know how to put together. And a lot of times you can't put the puzzle together because you're not put together, because you don't know what to do with you. And like you said, sometimes we don't know who we are.
Exactly. And a lot of times it steamrolls into how we treat others. You know, it's the prime example of the CEO that has no patience for, you know, their employees.
Mhm.
You know, it kind of, we what's the word I'm looking for? It ricochets
Okay.
off of other people around us when there's a part of us that's really broken. And when we're able to operate in wholeness, we are able to see the pieces that others are always trying to put together. And we know how to maneuver through or to help someone, you know, in that area. So yeah, I think it's important in ways that I think a lot of people sometimes overlook when it comes to, you know, especially business and entrepreneurship. But it is truly the key to you having a successful business and a successful staff, etc.
And I like that you are someone that people can lean into, because I remember I had the vision to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't know, I had so many insecurities of my own.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to break out or break into who I needed to be to do it. And there was no one there to help me. So you find yourself falling down a lot, you know, and being very unsuccessful. And then you become discouraged and disappointed. And you begin to feel like there's no hope for me in doing this. That type of behavior, or not behavior, maybe it's an attitude that comes on you.
Yeah, it becomes kind of a gerbil wheel. I have a one of the series that I run for entrepreneurs is called Foundations. And the tagline is because everything that grows has roots. And in one of the most recent series, we were talking about imposter syndrome and fear and things like that. And one thing I really try to help people understand is, one, I'm not a fan of the term imposter syndrome, because I'm like, there's nothing about you that's an imposter.
Right.
If there's a voice that is telling you something is off, don't get mad at the voice. Talk to it.
Right.
What is going on? What are you trying to protect me from? Where is this coming from? And a lot of times people are taught to run away from it. You know, run away from that fear, run away from that voice that's telling you you're not strong enough, run away from it instead of sitting with it and unpacking.
Yeah, let's pick up on that on the other side of the break. You're watching I Am Love Do the Show with Casper and Cheryl. We'll be right back in just a moment.
How many of us wished we bought Bitcoin early? We hear it all the time after the latest huge price surge. I wish I'd gotten in sooner. I wish I'd stocked up before the price took off.
Crypto markets are in the green this morning as Bitcoin hits yet another record high today.
The truth is, the real path to crypto wealth isn't chasing big price jumps. It's getting coins early and frequently. How? Mining. Mining gives you coins. Early Bitcoin adopters built their wealth by mining, and big banks and investors keep doing it, expanding their wealth and squeezing you and me out. Also, traditional mining comes with massive upfront hardware costs and sky-high electricity bills. But there's a better way. Meet Texit Coin, a new decentralized coin mined in Texas.
All right, we're back with the I Am Love Builder show. Casper and Cheryl. We have our special MVP guest in studio with us, Dahlia Cummings, who was also on our TV show, second series of Winning with Love. And she was on the single side of things. So we want to touch on that a little bit. But, this imposter syndrome, I agree with you. We're not imposters, but we may be working in an area or trying to do something that we haven't done before. Or it's new, right? So people are trying to navigate through that,
and it feels uncomfortable to us.
It feels uncomfortable, but it also feels like, what do I know about relationships, right? I've been married for 20 years, but how can I talk to someone about that without having gone through something, myself?
I kind of think of, imposter syndrome, I think a little bit differently than what I've heard a lot of times in the world. They say that the body's natural instinct is to protect itself. You'll automatically do stuff just to make sure that you're safe.
Yeah.
And that is how I define imposter syndrome. Now I'm a football girly coming from Cleveland, Ohio. I feel like you can't help but be a football girl. And so I often say that voice is the defense to your offense. And, if it's telling you that you're not good enough, a lot of times we take that as a verdict. Like there's a period at the end of that. And so that must mean I'm not good enough. So therefore I won't do X, Y, Z.
Right.
But in reality, for me, that voice is saying, prove to me that you are. What is it that you're missing? Is it the education piece? There's something missing that is making that statement come to the forefront. And so it is our job to figure out what is causing that. It's like a fire alarm, or a smoke detector. If you're cooking and the smoke detector goes off, it's not telling you, don't you ever cook again.
Right.
What it's telling you is that right now it's a little bit too much smoke in the room and you need to figure this out. So that's how I look at that voice that tells us no or to stop. There's something it's looking for it to feel safe.
Right.
So tell us, Dahlia, what else is it that you know what? Share a little bit of your story. I was very like, oh my goodness. It was one of those stories. It's like, oh my goodness story. So share a little bit.
Absolutely. So I kind of, alluded earlier, or made the statement earlier of, kind of being raised with a different mentality of myself as far as, believing that I just wasn't intelligent. I wasn't beautiful. I wasn't smart. My voice did not matter. And, things were very finance focused in the world that I grew up in. And at a certain point, I, made a choice that it was time for me to leave. I knew in my spirit that in order for me to grow, in order for me to become something else, or actually in order for me to even try to see if there was something more to this Dahlia person that's floating around in my mind, I need to remove myself from this situation. And so I moved from Ohio to Texas completely blind. Just got in my car one day, me and my dog Wonder Woman, and and drove down. And I was in Texas about a year and a half before I was, and mind you, leaving Ohio, I was unhealthy mentally, physically. I was easily 300 pounds plus. My blood sugar was over 600. So I was doing everything to not be here. Right. I just wasn't making that final choice, but I was doing everything else around it. Mm-hmm. And so when I got here, I said, I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to figure this out, and started losing weight. I had type 2 diabetes at the time, got off type 2. And, you get to a place where you're like, okay, I'm good. Right? Yeah. Me and God are good. Yeah. And then I go grocery shopping, and I'm sitting in the car kind of counting my money before I get out of the car. And there's a shootout at the gas station next to me, and I get hit by a stray bullet. And to this day and forever, I will call it my STEAL moment. And I call it STEAL because I love acronyms. And the STEAL actually stands for, on one hand, how the bullet affected my body. So I'm in the car. It came in through the driver's side door. And It went through my stomach, my intestines, the liver, and my lungs.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
I happened to be like 2 blocks away from the hospital, so I had to have 2 life-saving surgeries. But in my, kind of rebellious, as we kind of joked about earlier, after the second surgery, I think 2 days later, I was up walking. Like I just refused to stay in that state. I was like,
Yeah.
there's something else to this. And the other reason I call it my still moment is because I think that was the first time that God was really showing me my value.
Wow.
I had never looked at myself. I had fought for myself without looking at myself, if that makes sense. Like,
Mhm.
what are you fighting for? You're fighting for this idea. This
Mhm.
idea has manifested. You are here.
Yeah.
Dahlia is not a hypothetical. Dahlia is here.
Right.
And so I had to, relearn me in totality. And it changed my life forever. And so it's one of those things that I say you would never wish it on anyone else. But at the same point in time, I could never regret it because I know in my heart it was not meant to, take me out. It was truly meant, I would say, a little bit just to shake me up. Like, wake up, girl, you're here. You can do this. You are doing it, but you need to own that.
Yeah. I know a lot of people want to. You got a little bit of echo going on. Sorry about that. Might have to turn your volume down on your side a little bit. But a lot of people, they, where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
They, I can't remember what I was going to say now.
Well, a lot of people allow that to hinder them
Mhm.
instead of that spurring them further.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of that making them want to stand and fight, they just kind of shut down. And so when you in that type of situation, you have 2 options here. You have the one option that says, I'm going to take this and make the best of it. Or you have or the other choice you have is, well, I guess I'll just lay here. I just, you
And
just
just be.
yes.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you made a decision that no, this is gonna spear me further.
Yeah. I know what it was I was going to say, but we have to take a break.
Okay.
All right. I'll be right back in just a moment.
Winning with Love, episode 5, season 6, number 2.
That was a little slide preview from season 2 of Winning with Love, but it says couples up there. It's supposed to say singles. Anyway,
I received it.
yeah. Amen. So what I was going to say is that people don't want to go through these type of things. It's not like we say, oh, can you just shoot me in the parking lot so I can get, so I can
Right.
run into. But these type of things, tragedies, if you will, or situations, can either, you could go in a different direction with it, right? You could have went down, but it just you went up. You know what I'm saying?
You could have taken that and used that as confirmation as to the way you had been taught and raised.
Right.
Mhm.
And not the Dahlia that was blooming and coming forth, and as you from that point you didn't know was in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've said to others that I feel like God had a relationship with me long before I had a relationship with him. There's always been a part of me that was very resilient as far as life goes.
Mm-hmm.
And when that situation occurred, obviously I had people in my ear that were like, you need to go back home. Like,
Uh-huh.
you
Yeah.
know, just making it like, well, you thought God sent you to Texas. If that was the case, he wouldn't have, this wouldn't have happened. And so
Right.
I definitely had that tape recorder,
Mhm.
surrounding me.
Mhm.
But there was also, just because again, my curiosity was like, there's got to be something going on
Mhm.
if that happened. Like, that's just not. I would have people say to me like, Dahlia and bullets don't even go into the same sentence. I'm like, right, I'm much too square for,
Right.
for any sort of thug behavior. So something must be going on for that type of interaction to occur.
Right.
And I have a daughter, she's 25, and so she also is something that drives me, as far as I would rather try to see.
Mhm.
I would rather just live the rest of my life. Let me just see
Mhm.
what's going to happen before I just climb into a box.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's truly how I looked at it. Like, let me just there must be something going on. If you was trying to take me out, like, okay, now let me just see what you was really trying to hide. Let me see
Right,
what you were
right.
trying to do. So yeah, I'm definitely a let me see
Mhm.
type person, and that can be a good thing and a bad thing. But at the same time, I'm definitely very curious to see what God has in store for me. Period.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one of the things we like to do on our show is kind of, and you don't have to go. You can go into as little or as much detail as you want, but we really try to get some feedback on what it's like being single in the Christian arena, being single and potential dating, and maybe looking for a mate, or maybe just trying to get solid on who Dahlia is. What does that look like today?
Whew, that's a loaded potato, right? I would say it is. There's a lot of things that you have to be strategic with in
Right.
life, just in general.
Mhm.
But being single, being Christian, being a woman, mushing all that together
Right.
is definitely one of them.
Mhm.
I consider myself an attractive person. So, as far as walking through life and attracting people
Mhm.
is not something that I think I've struggled with.
Right.
The strategy comes along with, who am I attracting?
Right.
What is your real goal for being in my life and, in my circle?
Right.
And I would say that has probably been the greatest roller coaster, is really trying to be obedient sometimes when you meet someone and you're like, oh, okay, I'm about to, go out, and God is like, no. Like, well, dang, I couldn't even go that one date. Like, you just, damn.
Don't even think about it.
Right. Like, girl, go watch a movie or something, So, but I would say the beautiful part of that is learning how to love and enjoy yourself.
Right.
Because that's what it kind of pushes you in. Like, again, similar to the other situation, I can either mope and stay at home and just watch movies, or I like live music. Do I really have to have a date to go? No, I don't. Now, am I probably going to be one of the few people in the space that is not coupled up? Probably.
Right.
But at the same time, it's learning how to find that enjoyment. So I'm not a heavy dater. I've never been one of those people that date 4 or 5 men, and there's the theory of, date them all, and whoever. I don't have I'm not cut out that way. I tried that, and I'm like, that's just not like who I am as a woman. Like, I truly am the type of woman that prefers to make a connection and build upon the connection. Other than that, I feel like I could just go to work. Like, I can build a website while I'm just out here tap dancing around with 4 or 5, Adams and Joes. Like, it's just not that serious for me.
Right.
So you want to just like throw it up against the wall and see who sticks.
Right. That's what you're taught. Like, you date all of them, and whoever, like the cream, whoever rises to the top
To
is
the
the one
top.
that you is the one that you choose. But that's a lot of effort. That's a lot of effort and time.
And then adding in the whole Christian piece to it, because if you're not in the Word or in the Christian space, I think dating is easier because your standards are lower, right? You don't really have any standards, right? So you're like,
Right, it's who's cute, who's who's gonna pay for the drinks. You could just lop it all into one. But yeah, once you start really applying, who you are as a Christian woman into the dating scene, it definitely cuts, it cuts through the cheese real quick. Like, oh, you don't even want no. Okay. You're just spiritual. Oh, okay.
Like, what does that even mean?
Right. What does that even mean? So you meet those people that will curate the message in order to try to get in where they fit in. But even when I was there with you all, and Cheryl, you talked a lot about how much you prayed and went and talked to God as you guys were dating.
Yeah.
Like, that's been on my mind a lot, specifically since I've even come back home. And so I have been a lot more intentional with that. Like I said, and it cut through the cheese a little bit more. I was like, oh, okay. But again, I think, you have to choose the potential piece of, what God is preserving you or protecting you from, versus that in the moment excitement or entertainment that comes along with it. So yeah, it definitely creates, I'm not going to say challenges, but it definitely thins it out.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We're going to take another quick break. You're watching IAM Love Builder Show with Casper and Cheryl, and our special MVP guest in studio with us, Dahlia Cummings. We'll be right back in just a moment. All right, welcome back, folks, to Casper and Cheryl with the IAM Love Builder Show. If you have any questions for us or Dahlia, definitely type them in the chat box. We are monitoring that. So let us know if you have any questions at all. We'll be happy to try to get to all of those as we go through with the show. Let me bring Dahlia back on here. Sorry about that. So, yeah, the whole Christian dating scene can be challenging for sure. So thank you for sharing some of your insights on that.
I don't even know if I would call it a scene. I don't know if it's, I don't even think it's a scene. I just think it's
under construction.
Right. It's something. But
So Dahlia, you talked about your moving from Ohio to Dallas. Well, not Dallas, but moving to Texas. I want, and then your experience with the bullet and all, how did that start your business? I mean, were you already doing those businesses before you moved to Texas? Or was it after you moved to Texas that you became the Rebel Alchemy?
So I was already living in the HR space when I was in Ohio, and I was currently when I was in Ohio, I was working with entrepreneurs, but I was working with youth entrepreneurs, young individuals who are like 18, like very young, that were starting businesses to help them build up their confidence. It was post uh, April 14th because that was the day that I was hit. Um, that the alchemized was birth.
Okay.
That was when I really, I would say, got a chance to look at the journey that she went through. And even though I'm talking about myself, I'm speaking about the pre 414.
Right.
When I look at all that she handled, the amount of times that she could have gave up,
Mm-hmm.
that she could have did an about face, that she could have actually use the knife,
Right.
all of those times that for some reason she stood strong for me to be here today. Um, that's when I realized that I needed to honor that part of my story. You know, prior to that, when sometimes when you go through a lot, you can, or people, I would say, or maybe society creates a shame around it. Like you don't want to talk about like who you were. You don't want to talk about the things that happened to you, or whenever you do, there's this solemnness that goes along with it. Like, oh, that's so bad. And true, there's a lot of things that I went through that I would definitely not wish on anyone. But there's no reason for me to cower before that story. It is all of those experiences that helped make me who I am today. And it's all of those experiences that pretty much allow me to relate to almost any woman's situation. Again, no one wants to be able to relate to any woman's situation, but I do have that ability.
Right.
And so once I realized that there was power in that journey,
Yeah.
once I realized that because of that journey, whether a woman is coming to me about something and I'll call it simple, something as simple as I have low self-esteem, or she could be coming to me about a sexual abuse that she went through,
Right.
that I'm still able to completely relate. And because I don't have fear of emptying my cup, that's when I realized that not only are you fearless just in general, but look at what is in that cup that you could use to really help other women that may feel like buckling under the pressure. You understand buckling. You understand it all. So why are you hiding that? So Alchemized was birthed out of 414.
Okay.
I think what a lot of people don't realize is that your testimony, depending on how you wield it, that's your superpower. And I know a lot of people that allow that they are so consumed by by their
Shame.
the shame that they can't share it. But the more you can share it, the more you can talk about it, this gives you more power. Right? You take over that testimony and turn it into something powerful. So that's awesome.
Right. You own it.
Yeah, you own it. Right.
You own
You
it.
own
It's you.
instead of it owning you.
Exactly.
So we're gonna pull up your website here, and it says meet Dahlia.
That is me.
That is you.
Yeah. So tell us about some of your services, and we got to take a break here in a little less than a minute. But let's start by just sharing some of your services and what you do.
Absolutely. So if we can start with the one that is on the screen that's called One Team HR, and that was kind of my foundational baby. I worked in long-term care and medical for years, and I started noticing a lot of the brokenness in the long-term care industry, assisted living. It's just the medical industry, period. And so I had the understanding that as an employee, you get a little bit less respect than a consultant. I could say the same thing as an employee to a business that I would say as a consultant. And for some reason, as the consultant, they would hear me. And when I realized that I had the solutions from helping businesses and that I could implement those a lot better if I stepped away and got out of the employee umbrella, is when I walked away and started One Team HR. And the reason it's called One Team is because businesses need to really understand, just because everyone works in the same company does not mean that you have one actual team.
Right.
So the goal is to create that solid oneness amongst everyone so the entire business can flow.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue with Dahlia Cummings here. I'm looking for my next. Yeah.
So we'll be right back.
Hello, it's Janine Emily,
And Mr. Tracy Lee Smith,
host of the national TV show Rockstar Diaries, healing out loud with heart, humor, and harmony.
and founders of Hearts and Sing Productions.
Casper and Cheryl, thank you so much for having us on Winning with Love. What an incredible experience. You two just create such a loving, safe, and joyful space where real stories can be shared with honesty, laughter, and heart.
Yes. You know, your mission to lead with love is exactly what the world needs right now. And it was an honor to be a part of a conversation that uplifts, inspires, and reminds us that we're all connected.
We walked away feeling encouraged, seen, and even more fired up to spread hope and healing through our own work.
If you're looking for a show that truly lives up to its name, Winning with Love is it.
Casper and Cheryl, thank you again for shining your light so brightly.
We
are grateful.
All right. We are back. Winning with Love show with Dahlia Cummings. We're talking about her Rebel Alchemy site, and you were talking about your One Team HR strategy. So who would be a typical client for you in that space?
Well, I work with, the medical industry is really kind of where I live.
Okay.
I work a lot with long-term care, assisted living facilities, as well as the schools that educate the workers in those environments. I have worked with corporate clients, nonprofit, etc. But for the most part, I would say my passion in the area that I feel can benefit from my services the most is definitely within up under the medical umbrella.
That is awesome. Well, I was trying to show. Oh, it's not showing the. I tried to go to a different link on your page, but it didn't take me there.
She wants to. I guess my site wants to not be friendly today.
Yeah, I'd have to share a different page. Let me see if I can do that, because I wanted to show some more of your site before we were done. But yeah, so feel free to tell us more about your services.
Sure. So the next area that I work in is the Rebel Alchemy, and Rebel Alchemy essentially is the alchemized brand. The reason it's called Rebel Alchemy is because I feel like in order to alchemize, you have to be a little bit of a rebel. You have to be willing to fight against what it is that you're being told, what it is that you are being made to believe. You have to be willing to fight for who you are. So the Alchemized brand is where I really work with women on creating wholeness. I have the Alchemized podcast. I was just blessed with the Alchemized TV show. And I actually did my first episode recording today. So that was exciting. And the goal of the TV show is actually Christian based, because I feel like a lot of times we as women, especially Christian women, we really don't have a lot of mentors that we can turn to. But I also realize that the challenge is we don't really unpack the women in the Bible.
Right.
You know, when we hear about them, it's very surface. We don't really unpack their woes, their sorrows, their challenges in order for us to be able to find ourselves in them. So over this next year, because there are 52 episodes, I'll be unpacking the women of the Bible, those known, but also those unknown, like Mrs. Job, for instance. Like I made a statement, like, the only time we talk about her, Job's wife, is when they're talking about when she told Job to go ahead and curse God and die.
Right,
Mhm.
No
right.
one talks about that those was her babies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
she
she was.
was holding the fort down,
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
you
She
know,
was
through all of that.
on that. Yeah.
In grief.
So, right. So, you know, really unpacking those stories and really helping women find themselves in those women in the Bible so that we have a resource that we can go to, whether that's personal, whether that is, you know, for our business. They all lived a life. They were real women. They're not just hypothetical. They have the same fears, the same woes. And so
Mhm.
we should be able to lean on them as the sisters that they are to help us continue to move forward. But we have to be willing to become aware and hear those stories.
All right. So, what is the best way for folks to reach out to you and engage with your program?
Absolutely. So again, they can, you know, go to the website, which I don't know, you know, it's a Sunday, so maybe she's trying to watch a football game or something. But, so, you know, the website is just dahliacummings.com. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, which is under my name, dahliacummings.com. Or you can just call me directly. My number's right there at 832-662-6676.
That is amazing. Yeah, you were a great guest. We really appreciated all your feedback on the show and your input on the show. You know, it's as we've been talking about, relationships are kind of difficult, but if both parties are really, but in the Christian arena, if both parties are focused on God, it makes it easier. I think, you know, it makes it a lot easier. But we run across couples who are Christian couples, right? They've been Christian for 10, 15, 20, their whole life, but they can't get along together. And the Bible says that we should be praying for and loving our enemies, and we can't even love our spouse. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's that. Well, you know, since I'm not in that world, I can't comment too much. But what I will say on the dating side of things is, you know, some stuff you got to nip in the bud very early.
Yes.
Right.
If it's not meant, it's not meant, and just let it go.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we tell single couples when you're dating, and you know right off the bat that this person and you are not going to flow. This is
Right.
not going to work. Don't keep hanging in there. Say, well, you know, it was a pleasure meeting you. See you around sometime. Wish you the best.
Nothing personal, but I gotta go.
Yes.
I got it exactly. This is, you know, thank you for your time. Thank you for whatever we just did, but you know, good luck. Like, I can't.
And not only that, Dahlia, I think because you are the woman that you're a woman, you run businesses, you are an entrepreneur, you have vision, you have dreams, you have goals, you have objectives. You want someone, I always talk about dating, you want someone that's going to flow with that. You want
Right.
someone that's going to bring something to that and help, that's going to be a contribution and help enlarge it, make it better. You don't want anybody that's going to be causing you tension and stress and cause you to veer from your vision. That's not the one.
You know, I think from a guy's perspective, if he runs across a successful woman or a businesswoman and he's not, right? Let's say he just has a really good job. You know, let's say he's a supervisor or manager or something. You know, he just has a really good job, but he's not a business-minded person. I think as long as he understands and supports, you know, his girlfriend or you know, potential spouse, I think that could be a good relationship, right? It doesn't have to be he's in business and you're in business, right? So now you're trying to do that together. It just has to be, he has to have the right mindset to support your efforts.
Exactly.
And be able to understand your dream and your vision without jealousy
Yeah.
or envy or shame.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like I've met people who, you know, the first thing they say is, well, I never even thought about being an entrepreneur. I never, you know, never even told you that you needed to be.
Right.
You know,
Right.
but would I like to be able to take you to an event and you know how to act? Absolutely.
Yes.
Right. Absolutely. You know, you don't have to. I'm not asking you to be me.
Right.
I
Yeah.
am asking for you not to become another responsibility for me.
Right.
You know,
Right.
be the same peace that you want for me, you know, to be with you. Be this, be the leveler,
Mhm.
you know, for me, and you know that way I can be the same thing for you. So yeah, I agree. I think sometimes it's an assumption, and
Mhm.
that most of the time that has absolutely what you do for a living has nothing to do with it. It's more the mindset around
Right.
Correct.
you being in the relationship that determines a lot, the most determines a lot.
Yeah, and being supportive.
Mhm.
Yes, you can be that rock for me. You can be that word of encouragement when I'm having a down moment. You can allow me to be your moment of, be your voice of encouragement when you're having a down moment.
Right.
Casper and I can always say, you know, if we realize that the two of us together, we're a team. We're a team, and we're going to work together as a team, come what may.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Sometimes be the person that closes the laptop. Like Dahlia, it's 1 a.m. Like, get off of the laptop. Right. Like be that person. I'm totally fine, you know. So
or bring that cup of hot tea at 5 a.m. when I got to do a 5 a.m. podcast.
Exactly.
You know, just bring me that hot cup of coffee, a hot cup of tea, and say, "Hey, honey, I brought this little scone for you too." You know, I know you have to get up early.
Right. I know you like donuts. Here you go.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Dahlia, having you on the show. We look forward to season 2. Oh, by the way, the season 2 premiere is going to be on the
December.
What did we say? The 4th?
The 4th, December 4th, I think.
December 4th. It's going to be here in Colorado at our church. You're welcome to join us in person, or you're definitely welcome to join us online. So, if you want to make a trip to Colorado, we'd love to have you for the premiere of season 2 of Winning with Love.
Okay. I was going to say I actually will be in Ohio,
Oh,
but I would still love to join virtually.
Absolutely.
I try to get home before the snowfall. Like,
okay.
And we'll get you
I
that
can
link.
come down here in January. I'll see y'all at the beginning of winter.
There you go. There you go. Well, folks, you've been watching I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl, and our special MVP guest in studio. You know, our goal is really for you to become MVPs. It's the most valuable partner in a relationship, and when you do that, your partner does it. You guys have an awesome situation going. And we got the MVP Love Hub that's going to be launching. That's going to be phenomenal as well. So we will see you guys on the next show. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.